3, Gustavo Neri with AB Boxing News. We got a very, very special guest right now this evening, this afternoon, this morning in all parts of the world. The champ at 175, Jean Pascal from Canada. What's going on, champ? How's everything?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm very, very good. Thank you very much. Right now, we're living a big crisis, but I'm blessed. I feel very fortunate that in this crisis, I'm healthy. I'm okay. My family's healthy, but I stay inside.
Correct, correct. Like I said, I'm glad that you and the family are well and safe, and hopefully this ends soon. So, like I said, the fans can see you back in the ring. 2019 was such a big year for you, and not only for yourself, but I guess the sports town in general for Canada. The Raptors, they won the title. You became a titleist yourself. So, how do you feel to represent, just Canada boxing overall?
I feel very proud. Like you said, last year, 2019, Canada was winning big. Like we have the best rapper in the game, Drake. We are NBA champion with the Raptors, Toronto. We even the U.S. Open champion with Bianca Andreescu. She won the U.S. Open, and with me that I brought back the belt in Canada. So 2019 was a fantastic year for Canada, and I'm very happy to represent my country.
There you go. Like I said, well deserved. Yeah, I was gonna tell you, champ. Like I said, I told you that day when I seen you. Like I said, I'm a reporter, and I think one of the things that media do a mistake is almost like, in other words, criticize or attack other fighter in defeat or victory, and I think that's one of the issues in boxing because if a fighter has one loss, it's like, oh, that fighter's not good no more, or he's not important. And I think that's wrong on our behalf because a loss doesn't define a fight. You can always bounce back, and you're a testimony to that. You didn't let that. You didn't let any defeats get to you. Like you believed in yourself and you believed in your skills more than anything. So I gotta give you props for those determination.
Thank you very much. And definitely, like, it's not because you lose a fight that you're no good anymore. Like, because if you look at the history, every best fighter besides Floyd had lost a fight. Ali, Sugar Robinson, Sugar Leonard, Roy Jones, Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson, everyone. It's part of the game. It's part of the sport because boxing is not a game. It's part of the sport. And also, like, with all this, what I learned from that, or with my experience, is to never let anyone's opinion become your reality. It's not because someone said on you you're not good, you should you should retire. That you should believe that and retired. I believe that you're not good because people was telling me, Jean Pascal is washed up, no good anymore. It's the past. He should retire. But me, I knew my capability, my capacity, and I knew I was working hard. I knew I was still hungry, and I persevered because even that I was training hard, even I was staying disciplined, I lost two fights. But even though I lost two fights, I persevered
Mm.
and I won a world title. And then I defeated against Badou Jack in December, and now I'm back on top, two-time world champion.
Correct, correct. Like I said, great fight. I was actually there. Like I mentioned you before the phone call. I was actually there. Great competitive fight. The fans won that night. It doesn't matter what people think, but that was heck of a fight. And if that fight does happen down the road, I think fans will be excited. Like I said, you've delivered great fights in your last couple fights. I did want to ask you, yeah.
Uh-huh. No, but I was about to say, like, thank you very much, but tell me one fight that one of my fights was not excited. All my fights are excited because I know what the fans want. I'm a crowd pleaser. I like to fight. I don't run like a chicken in the ring. I'm there to win the fight and bust my ass and put a good show for the fans.
Well said. Like I said, even from a perspective of a fighter, I can't even argue that because you guys take the, as they say in boxing, right? It's a lone man sport. You guys are the ones that are taking the blow. So I mean, I can't argue with that, and that's a great perspective. I wanted to ask you in terms of resumes, right? Because I look at everybody like the fighters at 175, and I look at your resume, and correct me if I'm wrong, right? You have Badu Jack in your resume, Marcus Browne, Dmitry Bivol. You have also Sergey Kovalev, and I think currently, if we was to say a debate, I think you have at least the top resume at 175. Would you agree with that, champ?
Definitely. I'm not trying to brag, but facts are facts. I face all the top fighters in the world. I never like try to hide behind a promoter, behind a contract. Like if there's a challenge, I'm there.
Mm, got you. Did this pandemic by any chance impact like your next upcoming fight? Like let's say for example March, April, or maybe May, like, or what was the next target date?
Honestly, not really. I was supposed to come back like at the end of May or June, but nothing was set in stone. So I started my training mid March, but then a week after, they called the lockdown. But I went back home. I started to train at my house because I'm fortunate to have a home gym. I have a gym in my house, so I stay in shape. I stay in shape in my house, and when we're gonna be able to get back, in our normal life, I'm not gonna start from zero. I'm gonna have a minimum shape, and I'm gonna be ready to go back in training camp.
Mm, okay. In a perfect world, did you see yourself fighting at least two times a year for the remaining of 2020 or once?
This year, after my fight with Badou Jack, I was planning to fight three times this year.
Mm.
But the way it is right now, I don't even know if I'm gonna fight. But at least I hope I'm gonna be able to fight at least one time. But of course, I'm not gonna fight three times. I don't think I'm gonna be able to fight two times. But if I can fight one time, I will be very happy.
Okay. You mentioned Bottle Jack, like I said. Um, like I guess if we was to put a scenario, right? Hypothetically, Jean Pascal, perfect world. How would you break down your next couple fights? Because you are a champion, and I think, in other words, people would love for you to run it back with what's his name, Bottle Jack, and also with Marcus Browne, or you could also do unification with Arthur Beterbiev or Dmitry Bivol. So for you, how would you, in order, how would you want it?
But listen, to be honest with you, I don't really have an order. Like me, I also want to fight the best. I know the Battle Jack fight could be a great fight for TV on Showtime. So I don't mind to fight Battle Jack again. I don't mind to fight Marcus Brown again. I busted that once, so I'm not can bust that a second time. And like I said, any challenge, if they want to challenge me, if they want to fight me, like I said, I'm not gonna try to hide behind a promoter. I'm not gonna try to hide behind a contract. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna take the fight for the fans.
I had a great interview actually too. What day was this? I had this interview. I think this was on Monday. I talked to Gilberto Ramirez, who just moved up to 175, and we were just talking about life, and he told me that I asked him about you. He's oh yeah, he's like Jean Pascal, great champion. He's like we're good friends, and he's like he's a great fighter, and like he's like at the moment we're friends, and it is what it is. Like we're good friends. Nothing's gonna stop us. But if it comes to the point where we have to fight, then our friends is to the side, and he fights for his family, I fight for my family, and we're here to deliver a great fight. So Gilberto said good things about you, champ. What do you think about that?
Like I can say nothing more. Like he said it is what it is. But at the end of the day, he has to feed his family. I have to feed my family. But we have so much respect for each other that I'm sure that if we fight each other, it's gonna be with respect. So like I said, at the end of the day, may the best guy win.
Correct. What do you think about us? A guy that you fought before, Sergey Kovalev. He's now moving to cruiserweight. Do you think that was the right move, or maybe the fight with Canelo showed you that maybe it's time for him to hang up the gloves, as they say.
Honestly, I don't think he has the size to be cruiserweight. Those guys cruiserweight they're like 230, 225, 220. Kovalev, if he moves up to cruiserweight, he's gonna be a small cruiserweight. Of course, he has a good power punch. But like I said, at that weight, his power punch might be like just normal. Compare if you stick as the light heavyweight. But now Kovalev is getting old. Maybe he's getting lazy. He don't want to train the way he's supposed to train like a champ to lose his weight to make the same sacrifices than he was doing when he was at his peak. But like I said, I'm not in his shoes. If you want to go up to cruiserweight, I wish him good luck.
Well said, bro. Great words from another champion. Like I said, 175 is very, very, very stacked, very talented. A lot of good stylistic fights. Like I said, I could, not just for me, myself. A lot of fans would say, Jean Pascal would, good style against Beterbiev because, you guys are two physical guys, and I think because both of you guys are very physical and you guys don't back down, I think your styles personally would it's like you said, the fans love it. Another fight. You and Ramirez, great fight. Like any of those guys, I think it's a good mix. I think you guys will complement each other's style, and it'll be a fireworks, as they say, right? Um,
Definitely, especially with Artur Beterbiev. Like I said, I sparred with him a few times because we had the same coach at one point, and I can say like if we have the chance to fight each other, for sure that fight won't go to the distance.
it won't go to distance. Got you.
I'm not saying that I'm gonna knock him out.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that he's gonna knock him out. I'm just saying that the fight for sure is not gonna go
yeah,
to distance.
yeah. It's basically because you guys are, like they say, you guys give it your all, and you guys go for not to say that you guys only punch, but you guys are big punchers. You guys are very physical, but I get what you're saying because you guys are very physical.
Like I told you, I sparred with him a few times, so I know what I'm talking about.
No, I get you. Well, respect for that. I ask a lot of fighters right now during these times about self isolation and whatnot, and some of the fighters I asked them is maybe this is the perfect time of reflecting, right? And one of the questions I ask the fighters is, when your career ends, when do you see what weight do you see finishing career? I'll give you an example. Shakur Stevenson, he fights at 130. He tells me maybe one day he sees himself ending his career at 154. Jojo Diaz, Olympian, now world champion, he said welterweight. I did an interview with Jamal Herring. He said maybe welterweight as well. For you, champ, you think 75 is the maximum before let's say for example 2-3 years, you know what, you say what, I did the best in boxing, I had a great career, and I'm gonna finish it at 175, or you do plan on moving up?
Honestly, right now, a lot of people say it's quarantine time. It's time to flex on yourself, to flex on your future and stuff like that. But right now, me, I don't think about that. I don't think about my future. What I'm thinking about is the time right now to work on your craft.
Okay.
This is the time right now to work on your craft, to work on your skill, to get better, to perfection your style. Is the time. It's not the time to get lazy, to stay home, eat chicken wing and stuff like that. It's the time right now to work on your craft, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm working on my craft every day. I'm watching videos. I'm training every day. I'm trying to improve my weaknesses because maybe I won't have that time the rest of my life to do that. Right now the world is on pause. So take this advantage, see the benefit, see the positive thing of the quarantine. Work on your craft, do things that normally you don't have the time to do.
Correct.
So me right now, I'm working on my craft. Afterwards, I fix things around the house that normally I don't have time to do that. To do it. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
I don't think about like where I'm gonna end my career and stuff like that. I'm working on the present.
Yeah. Got perfect. You know what? You make a great point. That was great, powerful words. I think you're the only fighter, if I'm not mistaken, at 175. I think you're the only fighter. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? You fought on HBO, you fought on Showtime, I believe, and then you fought on the Zone with Bivol, correct?
No, I didn't fight on the zone yet.
Oh, you didn't. Oh,
Yeah, I
Fox,
fought
gotcha.
on Fox, but I didn't fight on the zone.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So that's the only one that you haven't. But how's that experience like? Like, is there any difference like in those networks? Like, what's your
To be
experience like?
honest with you, not really. Just at the beginning, because when you were a kid, you were watching boxing on HBO and Showtime.
Mm,
So your goal was to be on Showtime or HBO one day. But me, I did it already. I did both. Right now, Fox. I think Fox, ESPN is even better because it's a bigger platform for us.
mm,
Is a bigger platform to get known. So with those network, ESPN and Fox, we're gonna reach out more homes. So
mm,
it's better for the boxing.
interesting. And even now, it's even better when you have a lot of big time networks like you mentioned, Fox, Showtime still in here, The Zone, ESPN. It feels good for somebody like all the fighters, right? Like yourself, top level. I think that you get more recognition, more exposure, and a lot of fans um get to see great fights. Okay.
Definitely, because right now there's more money in the sport. There's more like advertising, and we are very lucky to be. I feel very fortunate to be in this era, to be able to box in this era, because I'm sure that Mike Tyson, if it only would love to have the platform that we have right now.
Mm,
Multiple platform like ESPN, Showtime, Fox, bigger platform. I'm sure, and there's more money as well. So I'm sure that those guys they probably think, damn, those kids are fucking lucky.
mm.
But I feel very, very lucky, very, very fortunate to be part of this era of boxing.
Mm, well said. Well said. In terms of the just moving forward with the way boxing might change or not, because we boxing thrives when there's a lot of fans, and a big audience, and I mean most fighters would say they love when the fans attend. If they cheer for you, if they boo for you, it's good to have the fans, right? Do you think? Are you okay with that fighting with no fans, like no audience, with just you and the fighter and the ref and the team, moving forward?
Honestly, honestly, I was thinking about it yesterday,
Mm,
and actually, I won't mind because of kind of weird. But not weird because at the end of the day, like to fight in the empty arena, it will be to fight like to do a sparring session.
mm.
It's only my coaches, few partners with me. The camera guy is gonna film the sparring. So for me, if I have to fight in an empty stadium, I'm gonna take that approach. I'm going to fight, but like it's gonna be a sparring session, but I get paid for it.
Mm,
So you have to see the positive thing in any situation
mm,
instead to see the bad side of it. Try to see the good side of it. You go there, it's a fight.
mhm,
But you think it's gonna be like a sparring session, but like people's gonna watch at
mm.
home though, on TV or maybe on pay-per-view, whatever. People's gonna watch it, so like it's a fight, but just take it as a sparring session.
Yeah, correct. You mentioned ratings would definitely go up in terms of because there's no fans in the audience, then they have no choice but to watch it on primetime television, right? Um, in term, and I think one of the things that I was trying to advocate for fighters, I did it. I just talked to the WBC today on WBC.com, and I also did an interview with Mauricio in terms of what can we do, like as media to, you know, um, help fighters go through this mental health like services. Some of them are going through depression. Some of them are like, for example, right, once upon a time, like you started your pro debut. You will only earn a certain amount of money, but as you prove your grounds, you get more money, and like at your level, right, you're getting the amount that you're worth. And we're trying to find ways to help the fighters go through that, because you have some fighters that this is their only job they've ever done in life, so it must be a very critical time for them. And like I said, I think there's got to be some fixes, right, in terms of like adjustments in prices for fighters. Like we're hoping that fighters don't have to take a drastic pay cut, because I know some of you guys make a percentage out of gate sales, correct?
Yeah, of course. But like I said, if if those fighters make percent of game sell, they they still gonna be able to make percentage of the pay-per-view. There will be no gate, but the pay-per-view is gonna be bigger because they don't gate. So that's gonna be the same thing.
Gotcha. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. In other
Like
words,
I said, with me, I will never find problems because in any problem there's a solution.
yeah.
As you said, there's no gain, so you think there will be less money. That's not true because it's gonna be like more money or maybe the same because the pay is gonna be bigger.
Got you. Got you. Yeah. Wow. That I didn't. That was actually good. A prom is a solution. Makes sense. Makes sense. Is there? What I was gonna say. Um. I think we talked about this a couple times too. I think one of the things you're eager to do is like a homecoming. Down the road, that's something that you still want, right? As a champion, a homecoming for your fans, correct?
Yes.
I was gonna ask you, and how's the? Because I know here in the United States, the only state that is trying to was in other words trying to make boxing as a essential business is the state of Florida. I don't know. I don't know how is it over there. Is there any way they're trying to make boxing maybe as an essential business at the moment?
Right now, I don't think so. I don't think so at the moment. But like I said, we still have to wait to see what's going to happen because I don't think we reach out the peak of the pandemic right now in Quebec. So after we reach out the peak, the pandemic, and we started to flatten the curve, maybe people are gonna start to think about other solution.
Okay, okay. When things get back to normal, the fights are back on. What are five fights as a fight fan? Jean Pascal as a fight fan. What are five fights in top of your head you would like to see?
Honestly, I don't think that fight will ever happen one day, but I would love to fight Andre Ward.
Andre Ward. Okay.